You ever walk through a place that feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for something to break? That's the old factory district in East Haven, where I was 3 years ago, pushing a creaky cart full of soda cans through the rain, scraping by after my world fell apart. My name's Ellie Harper, and let me tell you, life can hit you hard, then hit you again just to make sure you're down. My husband of 20 years, Tom, decided our marriage was stale, traded me in for his yoga instructor, Jenna, and left me with nothing but a stack of bills and a wedding dress I couldn't bear to look at. I went from hosting dinner parties in a suburban McMansion to counting coins for instant ramen, wondering how the hell I ended up here. That night, in a grimy alley behind a burger joint, I saw them 3 kids huddled under a tarp, their faces pale, their clothes too big, like they were playing dress-up with someone else's life. There was Jake, maybe 13, all sharp eyes and clenched fists, shielding his little sister, Mia, who was clutching a notebook like it was her lifeline, and little Ben, barely 7, holding a ratty stuffed dog, his sneakers duct-taped together. They were scrounging for scraps, and when Ben whispered, "I'm still hungry," it hit me like a punch 3 weeks ago. I was crying over my own empty stomach in my car. I called out, soft, "Hey, I'm not gonna hurt you. I've got $20, enough for some burgers, maybe a motel room for the night, you in?" Jake sized me up, suspicious. "What's it gonna cost us?" I just laughed, bitter. "Kid, I'm as broke as you are. Maybe we're just supposed to find each other." We ended up at the Starlight Motel, this neon dump with flickering lights and a bathroom that smelled like regret. Over greasy fries, they told me about their grandma, Clara, who raised them after their parents died in a crash, how she taught Mia math and Jake how to fix things, how Ben learned to read by her side until cancer took her 6 months back. Social services wanted to split them up, so they ran better hungry together than fed apart, Jake said. I saw the bruises on his arms, faded but real, and my heart twisted. Who does that to a kid? That night, as they slept on lumpy motel beds, I made a promise not to them, not yet, but to myself. I wasn't gonna let them face this alone. Fast forward 3 months, we're in a shoebox apartment, peeling paint and all, but it's ours. I'm slinging hash at Rosie's diner, tips barely covering rent, but the kids are in school, and we're building something family, I guess. Jake's catching up in math. Mia's balancing our budget like a CPA, and Ben's drawing stick figures labeled us on every wall. But then, boom, this guy in a suit, Mr. Lawrence Tate, shows up at the diner, says he's a lawyer, drops a bomb. The kids are heirs to a $50 million trust from their great-grandpa, some shipping tycoon who left it for Clara's descendants. Clara never touched it, lived poor on purpose, but it's theirs now. Suddenly, everyone's got an opinion on where these kids belong anywhere but with me. The custody hearing was a circus. Tom showed up, all smug, with Jenna on his arm, saying I'm just a waitress, not fit to raise millionaires. Then there's Clara's cousin, Harold, from some fancy estate in Connecticut, waving pedigree charts, claiming blood trumps everything. These kids need private schools, Ellie, not diner leftovers, he sneered, like love's something you can buy. The state's lawyer, some guy named Mitchell, kept talking about appropriate environments, like our little home wasn't enough. I felt like I was drowning, but then the kids took the stand. Ben, clutching his stuffed dog, said, "Ellie gave me her coat when I was cold. She's my mom." Mia, all serious, laid out stats like a professor. The odds of finding someone who'd love us with nothing? That's Ellie. Jake just stared down Harold. "You didn't want us when we were eating out of trash cans, so don't pretend you care now." When Tate showed photosis doing homework at the diner, me reading to Ben, Jake teaching Mia to ride a bike proved I loved them before I knew about the money. The judge, this no-nonsense woman named Clara Evans, slammed her gavel. Ellie Harper gets permanent guardianship. Case closed. I cried. The kids ran to me. And for once, the world felt right. Now, we run the Hope Haven Foundation out of a big old house in East Haven. Not some mansion, just a place that feels like home. Jake mentors foster kids. Mia crunches numbers to keep families together. And Ben reads to kids who've lost everything, helping them find their voice. We're not perfect. Jake still has nightmares. Mia counts every step to school, and I hear Tom's voice in my head sometimes, telling me I'm not enough. But we're family, Not because of blood or money, but because we chose each other every damn day. The money? It's a tool helps us fix up apartments for struggling families, fund lawyers to keep siblings together, build libraries where kids like Ben can dream. But the real fortune? It's us, sitting around our beat-up table, laughing over cheap pizza, knowing we're enough. So, what do you think? Can love really outweigh money? Or is the world too cynical for that? Drop a comment, tell me your take. Maybe share a story about a time you chose family over everything else. Hit that like button if this hit home, and subscribe if you got more stories where this came from.